Welcome to the TokenMarket.net podcast. I am your host, Gavin Knight. Thank you for tuning in. Check out our site for digital asset research, a calendar of upcoming events, and many future upcoming releases. Our podcast features team members of projects in the cryptocurrency space to help shed light on their developments. Just because a project is on our podcast doesn't mean we recommend investment, so always research and engage wisely. I'm here with Luis Suenda, project lead at Aragon. You can check out their alpha at aragon.one. That's ONE, one of the new domains. So why don't you tell me how you got started in Bitcoin and blockchain, cryptocurrency, what attracted you to the space? What were you doing beforehand? When did you decide to sort of go all in?
Hey, sorry, Gavin. So I got started in the free software world when I was 12. And basically I figured out, this thing of people all over the world working on different stuff and enhancing other people's codes was something big. And then I founded a couple of startups. I was named as the best hacker of Europe under 18 years old. And suddenly when I was 15 or 16, I stumbled upon Bitcoin. And the first time I read it, I was like, wow, whatever. Surely it's like a scam or something. And then I actually read the white paper and I was blown away. Basically because it enables you to build some kind of new societal structures that are more fair. And I believe that's going to be a huge change. And, we are seeing that happen now. And so, yeah, basically I got in because of the more idealistic view of it.
So what kind of code were you writing when you were considered best hacker? I'm just curious, kind of what free software projects were you working on specifically?
So yeah, the first thing I did was a Linux distribution. So something like Ubuntu is very well known. And so I tried to make it very easy for people to use it. And then the thing that I was awarded with was basically a desktop environment, like a desktop shell that was fully written in web technologies. That was 4 years away or even 5 when web technologies pretty much sucked and it was super hard to build anything with them. Nowadays we see them in every single app that we download is an Electron app or whatever. So we see them everywhere. But back in the day it was pretty much revolutionary. Though right now I look at my code and I think wow, what a shitty piece of code. But I guess when you are so young, it's hard.
Right. So let's talk about Aragon then. It's just interesting to know how people got to these, how they got to where they are now. So, it's heavy on the UI, it's heavy on design, and in a good way. I mean, it's to try to make things more accessible, creating DAOs and such. So, why don't you talk about, what's your philosophy about making it easy to use? Who do you think is going to actually use this? I mean, developers and people can already create DAOs and structures. So what kind of business use cases and participants do you think really benefiting from Aragon?
Sure. So I mean, in the beginning, for sure, it's going to be blockchain projects, and we really have a few lined up that want to use it for governance. So basically, to let their token holders govern the organization with Aragon. And then we have down the line open source projects also want to use it, which also most developers. But after that, we are going to target more broad use cases. And what we see, for example, is that we have people that are emailing us saying, hey, I run a discography or a business or a record label or I run a restaurant and I want to use it to run my business. And so in the future, I think that's going to be perfectly possible and definitely reduces the friction and the bureaucracy that you have to deal with if you create a traditional business. So we are trying to prepare for that. And it's true that right now we have a lot of users who are developers, but we also have a lot of users who, and this is very funny, I know what is Slack and don't even know what Ethereum is. And yet they are able to use Aragon because it's so simple, it's so straightforward. So we want to continue that. We want to invest a lot of, if I think about what has progress here, one of the pillars of that is without any doubt design. That's what we have spent a lot of time thinking about.
So how do you bridge the gap between the physical and the decentralized world? I a token market, we're thinking about this, but what about businesses that have physical elements and storefronts and all of that? And how do you kind of connect that DAO with the real world and give it meaning, or give it some legal backing so that it can really do some bigger things?
Yeah, that's a pretty hard question. I think like that's gonna be the last adopters of this kind of stuff, like people who have like a physical part to their business. So I see two different ways. The first one is that decentralized organizations will be able to do everything a centralized organization can do. So, we are building this decentralized court, which will be able to resolve disputes very fast. And then we have a few more things coming up. For example, stable coins. Oh, sorry. For example, stable coins, in which you will be able to basically hold, any kind of stable coin like Maker, and then you don't have to care about volatility of Ether or whatever. So that's going to be pretty huge, I think, and that's going to make it very easy for people to use Aragon organizations like there were like traditional ones. Then on the other hand, we're also working with a couple of governments on seeing how they can implement Aragon organizations. So basically how their company registry can use Aragon. And so that's two different approaches. We like the first approach more, to be honest, because we think it's a true approach that is not hacky. But the second one, it's very cool, and I'm pretty looking forward to seeing the first like government deploying like blockchain organizations or whatever.
So, what are the limitations? I'm just curious as to what you can do with the front end and maybe what a developer could do. Are you able to basically achieve most all of the options that a smart contract could just through the UI?
Yeah. So right now you cannot do that. Like you cannot really like create your like have the same flexibility you would have coding your own contract. You can do like 90% of everything that you want to do in a business, to be honest. Like it's pretty straightforward. But then it's true that we're working on a module system, so you will be able to basically plug your own modules that interact with the core DAO contracts, and also create their front ends for that module that you build. So in September, that's where we have this release lineup. You will be able to achieve the same functionality you would have basically creating your own contracts by creating these little pieces of software that are modules that are also fully sandboxed. So that's pretty important.
Right. So you have the MVP on your site. It's on testnet, so people can try it now. And the sale's coming up. So why don't you tell us about what you're raising money for and when it starts, and kind of how people can get in touch with the team?
Sure. So the sale is starting in May 17th, and we're basically raising these funds to continue development of Aragon and to basically expand the team. So we want to achieve a few like milestones for a year and a half, this last 2 years from now, which namely are economic abstraction. So, integrating all of these stablecoin things I was talking about, building the upgradability mechanism, deploying the Aragon network, also deploying the decentralized court, which is going to be one of the like most complex, decentralized things right out there. And so also something very important that we're going to do with the sale is that all the funds that are not used for development, we will give them back to the Aragon network itself for the DAO to manage them, for the token holders to decide where to put that funds. So yeah, that's how the token sale is going to work.
And what about your team? Obviously, you have some programming experience. Who else is on your team, and are you looking to expand sort of after the sale?
Yeah, we have like been hiring for the last like 2 months in a kind of a very undercover way, basically trying to gather really top-notch candidates. So now after the sale, we're going to announce the first ones, and so we plan to expand to around 8 to 10 people at the end of the year. And now, like regarding the founding team, also Jorge Izquierdo is the tech lead. He's one of the like most recognized guys out there in contract upgradability, and also he's been very active in the community for a while. Contributor to libraries such as Zeppelin in the Ethereum world. And we've been working together for the last like 5 or 6 years. We met via Twitter when we were like 14 years old, so that was a while ago, and we've been working since then. And yeah, we've been working full time with Aragon for the last almost 7 months now.
So does Argonne have any partnerships or groups that are already sort of committed to using it? Have you seen any entities or folks that you could name that say, hey, I want to use Argonne, we're ready to go? And
Sure.
are there any businesses specifically that you are partnering with that want to sort of fit this into their what they have?
Sure. So regarding partnerships, we have OX as ZeroX as partner. We have Status. We have Digix also very interested in using it. Democracy Earth as well, and a few more like blockchain projects that want to use it for governance. And then we have like a lot of interest from people and open source projects to use the platform. But yeah, we're gonna like start announcing actually in our development plan we have some of that like partners lined up on why they want to use it. But yeah, I mean, we look forward to like working with everyone in the blockchain world to be the standard of governance.
Awesome. Well, I think there's definitely a lot of room there. I mean, there could be a number of companies kind of providing different services. It seems like you could offer services to a lot of people that aren't advanced in programming, and there can be so there's a lot to go around right now, and I hope Aragon can become successful in that way and take over part of the pie. But yeah, if people want to find out more, it's Aragon, ARAGON .1 ONE. I like these new domains, and so you guys have a code. If you're interested in evaluating the project, definitely if you look at the GitHub or look at the code that's available. Is there a white paper ready?
Yeah, there is in both Russian, Chinese, and English.
I'm just trying to find that. So check out the white paper as well, and I'm really excited to see what you guys are going to do here. So thanks a lot for your time.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me, Gavin.
You're welcome.